Alright, so I revisited a bunch of my swords, but the one I didn't revisit yet is this one right here. This is my DIY, basically, sword. So if you haven't seen that video, I have a video on this, putting it together. So the handle, the Suva, and the saya are all from a company called Sinjin. If I'm spelling that correctly, or saying it correctly. And then the blade is a T10 blade from Bohaiu. Now the hibaki, I forget where I got it, because the hibaki that came with this didn't fit the blade. So that's on Bohaiu, so I had to get a different one. But I thought I'd do a revisit on this thing and where the balance point and the length of it is for everybody. It is a fun sword to cut with. The only thing with this sword, you feel the weight in the blade, and it is a thick blade. Because once it goes, it's going. This blade is, you can feel it. It just is going to go through the target. So let me change the camera view, and we'll see what the length of this is real quick. Okay. So the length of this blade, if you go all the way up to the Suba, and then you come all the way over here, that blade tip is just shy of 29 inches long. So if we go up against the hibaki, like so, and then we come over here, we're at 28. So it's a pretty good length of a blade. And then if we measure the sori here, and that's the beauty of this measuring board, is you can really measure your sori. And the light sucks here. So the measurement for the sori is about a 1/2 inch sori, so it's about typical. But yeah, I love how this measuring board works out. It just makes things so much easier. I do have to put feet on it though. It's not my idea though, got it from somebody else. Now let's check the POB on this one and see where it sits. Okay, so for those of you who are new to the channel or haven't seen this, another idea I got kind of from another person. This is a POB stand. So basically what it is, it's got a notch in the centerpiece, and this is this wooden dowel, so I drilled a hole and put a smaller one in it, kind of routed it, kind of trying to make it look nice. I gotta sand it, probably stain it, but what it does is you're able to find your point of balance on your blade, because the blade rests right in that groove. So like so, and you just move it along until it balances itself. And there we go. So there's our POB for this. So if you measure from the hibaki to that point, we have about 6.5, or excuse me, 5.5. If you measure from, of course, the guard, it's going to be about 6.5. So the POB on this guy is a little bit more than I like, because it's kind of way out there. I like around 4 to 4.5, which would be back around in here, but that's okay. Like I said, once you start cutting with this thing, it's going. But you can still control it. Be great for bamboo, because that blade is just gonna go through it. But for putting it together, wasn't too bad. I believe the blade itself is the most expensive. I want to say it was like $136 for the blade, because it's nothing fancy. It is differentially hardened. It's just a T10 blade. And then of course everything else, like that saya was only, I want to say $25–30 max. The Suba is just zinc, so it was like $10. And then the handle, I think, was like $12. It's got real Samigawa in it, but it's not real leather. So, but it is really nice. The Suba I might change out. I think if I put a heavier Suba on it, it's going to be a lot better. But yeah, the fittings aren't like, you know, fancy. But it does have a nice straight blade, and that is a plus for sure. But it's a fun little sword. I thought, screw it, I'll put my own together, and I did. But it is a nice handling sword. But like I said, the weight is in the blade. Most Bohio swords, the weight is more in the blade, but you can control them. So yeah, fun little blade. Probably going to use it a lot more because I haven't used it that much. And then the Sagio I bought, it's I think from Bohio, I want to say. It's pretty stiff. And no, I don't have it tied like traditionally, like everybody else does, you know, where it's tied down at the saya, because this is actually a more traditional way to tie them. If you watch the TV show Shogun, they did for Hulu. Actually, if you look at their Sagios, they're actually tied like this. The reason being is if you grab one of these and just yank it, that whole thing comes undone right now for you. That's the point of this, so you can use it for whatever you needed to. So that's how I do my Sagios if I untie them. It's basically a half butterfly knot, because I don't tie mine to my hakama. Okay, so that's a look back at my DIY sword. So if you want to put one together, go for it. The only thing you got to do, the only thing you need to do these is a drill and drill bits and a file. That's it. That's all you need. If you want to buy the blade like I did, put a handle on like I did and all that, you just have to make sure when you put the handle on, you keep this super tight. I press this up against something to keep it super tight, and I drill one hole and then put the Makuki peg in. Then I drill the next one, because especially I drill the first one first and then the back one, because the front one's what's going to help really keep everything tight. The second one is safety. So if that one falls out, you still have the second one. So super fun to do. The blade was the most expensive thing. I think it was like $130 for it. It's a T10 blade, differentially hardened. Everything else wasn't that expensive, so maybe $150, $160 total. And yeah, you could buy a sword for that, but where's the fun in that? With this, you can pick and choose exactly what you want. Sinjin, if I remember correctly, that's his name, has a whole line of fittings, handles, Ito wrap, Sagio. You could build a whole sword. Moon Swords, which looks like a new company, has the exact same stuff. You can totally build your own sword right at home. So that's the only thing you really need to do these, is that. So you can do it at home, real simple. You can use a cordless drill to do it. I'm thinking about changing the Suba. Like I said, I might change it to a koi Suba. I like koi. So, and it's a little bit bigger. It might help with the weight distribution, because like I said, this sword would be great for bamboo. Because once you swing it, you know that blade's going through something, just from the weight. But you can't control it, so it's awesome. It's really, really a good blade. So like I said, if you want to do this, just shop around. Ohio has good prices on blades. Hanbon does too. I think theirs are under $100. So unless you want, folded and everything, then they're going to be a little bit more expensive. I know there's the through arm blades, I think, are under $100. So, because not much has to go through those. But anyways, and for those who are new and, like I said, haven't seen this, I do have a video on this, my POB stand. And like I said, that top piece just fits right in there. So if you're looking to build one of these, the most crucial thing out of this whole thing, this whole build, is the hole in the base and the hole in the top column. You want to make sure they're straight as possible, so you don't want any tilt, otherwise it's not going to work very well. And then the groove, I just cut out with a triangle file. This is popular, and then the base is pine, so this costed me nothing. The wood I got at work, and these wooden dowels we had already. So this costed me absolutely zero. I'm sure if you see like contractors building the house, they always have scrap. You could probably go, hey, can I take like a couple pieces, short pieces? I'm doing a little project. They'll probably tell you go ahead, because it saves them from hauling it off. So it's a simple project if you want to make one of these, to see where your point of balance is. Real easy. And you can, like I tried, I kind of hacked it up. If you want to router it, make it look nice, stain it, sand it, you can. Go for it. Go for it. And then my measuring board, you don't need any tools. None. The only crucial thing is you want that ruler to match up with this edge on this board all the way down. That's it. And all you need is wood glue, Gorilla Glue, whatever. Put weight on it, leave it. There you go, you're done. You could probably find some of this at a construction site. You just want to make sure the board is flat as possible. I got this board and the ruler both at Lowe's. I think this board was like $6. The ruler maybe $5, so $12 to make this. That's it. You can make multiples of these if you have friends you want to give them to measure out their sword. The only thing I have to do is put feet underneath to raise it up a little bit, because if you, like I did, I left the handle on, Suba's going to get in the way. If you take the handle off and the Suba off, it's not a big deal, but there's times you want to measure a sword and you don't want to go through that all that time. Yeah, just put some feet underneath here, or you can put some books, one of the two, and just glue it on. That's it. Another simple project, no power tools required. You could do it at home. It's a lot easier, I find, to doing it this way than taking your sword, finding an edge on the table, put it on there, measure it, and then put a tape measure on the tip of the Kasaki and pulling all the way down. You just lay it down. Just lay the blade down, you're done. And all your markings are there. The only thing you got to measure is from this point up to the center of your blade to see what the sorry is. That's it. You've got everything else. I could even glue like a ruler right there, you know, a tape ruler, and then I would never have to even use a tape measure, which now that I think about it, I might just do that. So simple, easy, real easy projects for anybody to do at home. You don't need a lot of skill. So, but yeah, DIY sword. I might just do a wakizashi, not to go with this, just because I have a wakizashi saya and it needs a blade. So that's all I have for you guys. Have a good weekend, and we will see you later.